Right. When Rogrong was born, which woman did you buy a diamond chain worth over 100,000 yuan for? The woman's husband mysteriously disappeared 8 years ago. She has always been regarded as the first suspect. I'll ask you again. You want to face the murder of Man Zhou Dae? A woman admits to killing her husband and smashed her body into meat sauce. Make steamed buns for my younger brother and daughter-in-law to eat. The young couple's mouth was full of oil, praising my sister's cooking skills. Daughter, seeing how my uncle eats so well, I also want to try it. The woman firmly refused to let the police think she had confessed. But she suddenly seemed to have a different person. She also said that her husband eloped with another woman. Women suffer from schizophrenia, and there's no evidence at all in the woman's house. Can only send women to mental hospitals. I thought this would be a suspense case. I didn't expect 2 new reporters to hear about this. Pretending to be a couple and secretly visiting. Since the disappearance of a woman's husband, the woman's wedding room has become a haunted house. Every time a tenant comes to visit, it feels eerie. The agency heard that someone wants to buy this house. Dare not conceal. Bring them the video of the woman being interrogated. After they finish watching it, decide for yourself whether to buy too. The reporter watched the videotape. I think women are the only breakthrough point, so I decided to go to a mental hospital to interview women. Fortunately, women agreed to be interviewed, but the doctor warned them, women's spirits are very fragile. To prevent him from being stimulated, to interview, only female journalists can enter. The female journalist readily agreed. It is precisely this interview, uncovering the whole story. The woman's name is He Yuan. Her husband Lao Wang is a good brother of her ex-boyfriend. They all say that a friend's wife, not to be deceived. Lao Wang sees Ye Wen as beautiful. Various costumes expressing deep affection and love. I tricked Ye Wen into getting it. Innocent Ye Wen believed it to be true. Ignoring parental obstruction, married Lao Wang. But Lao Wang started flirting with other women at the wedding scene. It's good to be caught by Ye Wen. Not feeling guilty, that woman looked at him provocatively, and Ye Wen, who was foolish, didn't think much about it, only considered the other party as a friend of the husband. But on the second day of our wedding, my husband just excuses being busy with work, not going home every day. My younger brother also came to my door at this moment, said he saw his brother-in-law behaving intimately with a woman. Ye Wen said on his lips, believing in the seeds that my husband can doubt has already sprouted in his heart. My younger brother came to my sister and said, seeing my brother-in-law dating another woman, Ye Wen pretended not to care on the surface, but I still have some doubts in my heart. Night. Husband returns home. The first thing is to rush into the bathroom and wash up. Ye Wen pretends to chat. Ask your husband, have you been bothering my brother lately? She specifically came to speak ill of you today. The husband immediately became nervous. Ye Wen continued. She said, you are looking for a woman outside. Upon hearing this, my husband, a firm guarantee that he is wholeheartedly devoted to Ye Wen. It must be my younger brother who doesn't like her, intentionally speaking a lot of good things to her. I finally calmed Ye Wen down. A few months have passed in a blink of an eye. Ye Wen is pregnant. Concentrate on nurturing the fetus. Mom is afraid of her boredom. Take her out shopping. Come to a familiar jewelry store. The shop assistant warmly wished Ye Wen a happy birthday as soon as she saw her. Ye Wen's face was filled with surprise. Her birthday has already passed. The salesperson didn't see it. To speak for oneself. Your husband bought a diamond necklace worth over 100,000 yuan. I'm definitely going to surprise you. You are so happy. Ye Wen instantly felt a vast grassland growing on his head. Go home and start searching for that necklace. But I couldn't find it at all. Waiting for my husband to return home, she questioned her husband, but when asked by her husband, she became angry, pushing down Ye Wen with a big belly. The next day, Ye Wen gave birth prematurely. She kept shouting her husband's name in her mouth. My younger brother keeps calling his brother-in-law. I can't get through either. Here, Lao Wang is dating someone else. Wait for him to hear about Ye Wen's production. Still braved the rain and rushed to the hospital. Open your mouth and ask how the child is doing. I never thought of Ye Wen at all, until the father-in-law got angry. She just came to the ward to see Ye Wen, and gave her that diamond necklace. But Ye Wen is no longer easy to fool. Ask her why the necklace doesn't have a packaging box. Lao Wang can only explain awkwardly. The box got wet in the rain and was thrown away. Ye Wen felt very sad in her heart, but what saddens him even more is still ahead. Lao Wang bought insurance for him and his daughter. The beneficiary is Lao Wang himself. Ye Wen instantly sensed Lao Wang's wolf-like ambition. She wants to exchange her daughter for compensation. From the day forth, Ye Wen has nightmares every day. Dream of Lao Wang conspiring against her with another woman. Finally, she couldn't help it anymore. One morning, I picked up a fruit knife. Wife uses a knife to interrogate husband. Is there another woman outside? The husband was frightened. Directly speaking, Ye Wen has mental illness. Sent her to a mental hospital. It is precisely his perfunctory and evasive approach completely awakened the demon in Ye Wen's heart. Since I sent Ye Wen to a mental hospital, Lao Wang is even more lawless. He found someone to administer medicine to Ye Wen, wanting to completely turn Ye Wen into a mental illness, even brought the wild woman home. This woman is not a good person either, not only flipping around at home, but also looking around, and even started to fight against Ye Wen's daughter. My daughter filed a complaint with my uncle. But Lao Wan said, "This is my family matter. You don't need to be an outsider. Dogs take mice. My own daughter will take care of herself, because my daughter keeps crying. Find mom." Lao Wan can only take her to a mental hospital to see her. But Yawen learns that he was missing his daughter. "I have already sneaked away." Lao Wan can only take his daughter home to sleep first. Afraid of Yawen's sudden return, he wants to throw away the stockings left by the woman, but Yawen suddenly appeared behind him. Interrogate him. "Whose socks are they?" Lao Wan couldn't hide it anymore. "Why don't you just have a showdown with Yawen? Divorce if it's a big deal." Unexpectedly, Yawen was stimulated to lose his sanity, knock him unconscious with a stick, and then tied it to the bed. Seeing the big hammer in Yawen's hand, Lao Wan desperately begged for mercy, but Yawen doesn't seem to have heard anything. "Beat it down hard, until I smashed him into a puddle of mud. That's it." It seems like the truth has come to light, but the police did not find any blood or human tissue residue in Yawen's home. A few months later, one day, the male journalist received a letter. There is a videotape in the letter. The video was filmed in Zhejiang, recording the life of Lao Wan and that woman in Japan. But what the hell is going on? Did Yawen say he killed his husband? It's actually a fantasy generated by schizophrenia. Lao Wan really eloped with a woman. At this moment, a phone call came over. What? Yuan committed suicide. I don't know if Lao Wan, who is far away in the country of little days, can receive insurance compensation.